guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Fountain Pen Day. I just want to take a moment to say thank you to the fountain pen community for being what it is, an outlet for me to stop talking back to my computer all those years ago when I had something I wanted to say. Never thought I would be on this side of the camera. Well, I'm still on the other side of the camera, but you know what I mean. I never thought I'd be sitting here making videos, even though this is just a itty bitty scrap little corner of the internet. It's fun, and I've met a few really, really wonderful people here who are now part of my life, and you know who you are, and I adore you. So yeah, I just wanted to start the day with that little bit of thanks for the community. And I actually picked this book up over the summertime. I went to a library book sale, and when I walked in, this was literally the first book that I saw. And it's been sitting here for 2 months, and I haven't even picked it up. So, I mean, I flipped through it once or twice, but I haven't sat down to read it. But it has lots of beautiful vintage pens in here. And oh gosh, I'm just looking at the old advertisements. Lots of sterling silver pens. Lots of metal pens I see in here. A mix of resin and silver, but I see a lot of metal. And look at these feather pens. I want a French 18 karat gold tipped pen in the shape of a feather. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, put that on my wish list for Christmas. Wow. So, all right, I figured I would start with that, tell you what I have currently inked for October, now that 2 of the pens have dried up, practically dried up. And I need to start flushing out pens and fill pens for November. So what I have currently inked, and I feel like I'm repeating myself sometimes because I'm in stories on Instagram a lot. So a lot of times I post things there, and then if I come back to YouTube, I forget what I've said. Am I duplicating what I said? But not everybody who watches YouTube sees my Instagram. Not everybody in Instagram sees my YouTube. So I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but this was my October lineup. I have, oh, and going back to Fountain Pen Day, you should have known it was Fountain Pen Day if you got my little calendar. Let's see, where is it? There it is. I made a calendar of all the stationery dates for the year. I sent them to some friends in Happy Mail. Here we are. It's also NaNoWriMo month for those who love to write, and National Life Writing Month. So it all sort of ties together. But yeah, so I just put this like as a tip in my journal. So what I have currently inked are, I feel like I have like pirate sleeves with this blouse. I love it. It's pretty on, but I know the sleeves are a little much in the camera. All right, so I have currently inked, this is Vintage Esterbrook J, Transitional J. This was made somewhere between the years of 1944 and 54, 59, something like that. But this was the first vintage pen that I purchased. I adore it. It does have the lever fill. I was a little intimidated by that, got over it. It's not as big a deal as you think it is. It did not have the vintage nib, so I had to have a nib replaced, and it's an Esterbrook. And it writes nicely. I do think I have a little crack or leak right here where the new cap the new unit was attached to the pen because I do get a lot of ink on my fingers there. So I have to take that to somebody to have them look at it. But I love this pen, and this one has the Esterbrook logo on it. I don't think you're going to be able to see it there. If I remember, I'll insert a picture for you to see it, but it's right there. I have another one of these in green, and it has somebody's name on it, and I just love the fact, who was saying this the other day? It just warps my brain to think that, you know, like somebody used this for years and wrote letters to family and friends and, you know, who knows what else, signed legal documents with it. I just love the history of a vintage pen, although no, I don't have the actual history. I just think it's super interesting to, I don't know, just dream about it. This is the Kaweco, and I'll show you what they're inked with in a second. Kaweco, is this the Skyline Sport or the Iceline Sport? I forget which sport line this was, but this was, I think this was a Gold Spot exclusive. This translucent, they called it translucent turquoise. I adore this pen, and I wish they would make more in this translucent series. And I have, so this is a medium nib, this is a broad nib, this is the Diplomat Traveler fountain pen. I don't know which came first. I'm assuming the Kaweco Lilliput in this torched metal pen came first, but then the Diplomat made a similar type pen in their line, and I love the slim design of this. Even capped, it's still nice in the hands, but I do have small hands, so I can use it either way accordingly. This does have a medium nib in it, and I'm not really a fan of, no, not that I'm not a fan. I like how this writes, but I wanted to see what the fine nib was like. So I just bought a nib from Goulet Pens that I'm going to swap with that just to see how that writes. This is the Aurora Ypsilon, and this is a resin pen with a 925 silver cap. You can see the tarnish on there that I refuse to clean because I really like that character to metal. I love a good patina, and they do have these pens also in, this is an Italian designer, and they do have these pens in full resin. They also have this pen in the silver body also. So the entire pen is sterling silver, and it's really beautiful. And I've also seen these caps. This one has like little ribs on it. I've also seen the silver with just a smooth finish to it, not ribbed. And this has a medium nib. This nib I'm not a fan of. It writes a little too wet for me. Just have not gotten around to swapping that out. So the one, I'm missing one. I have one more pen. Oh, it's on my journal. This is the TWSBI 580 Diamond Smoke Rose Gold, but because I have two of these, I swapped, and they were both accidentally in the same nib size, so I swapped this out for a broad nib. But here's the thing, TWSBI, can we get a replacement of nibs in rose gold? Because I really, like, this irritates me to go from the rose gold to that. I want my rose gold nib back. I wish they had the replacements. And I don't see much difference in the writing between the stainless and the rose gold, it's probably all in my mind, but in my mind, I feel like the rose gold writes a little bit better. I think just because it feels a little bit more elegant in my hand. And that's probably, all it is. But I want my rose gold nib. So, is that everything? Yes. All right. So let me show you some writing samples. Oh, did you guys get anything for Fountain Pen Day? I did. I ordered something small. I said I wasn't going to, and I did. I was scrolling the internet last night, and some of the vendors had their Fountain Pen Day sale codes up already. So, yeah, I did a little late night shopping. But it's something small. I'm not going to tell you what it is. That's a hint, though. And hopefully you'll see it very soon. All right, let me zoom down so you guys can see what I'm writing. Okay, so I've been logging my inks in a few different places, as per usual. But in my regular daily planner and journal, I keep a log in the back of what I have currently inked, just in case like I'm out somewhere or away on vacation. Not that I've gone anywhere lately, but you know what I mean. I don't know, just to remind myself, because sometimes if I haven't picked up a pen in a while, I forget what I put in it. So it's nice to have it in the back of this planner. So you can see some other writing back there, and testing and writing. So these are the colors that I had for October. Vintage Esterbrook, this one. I had Vinta Fortaleza, or Ochre, as it's also called. Vinta likes to name their inks twice. Makes it really fun for us. It's actually kind of interesting. Every ink in their line tells a story of someplace in the Philippines. And I don't know, I think that's really neat. I did like this color a lot. It's, I guess I should have compared this one maybe to Diamine Ancient Copper, let's see. And what's the other one that I love? That's not being made any more. Oscar's Copper. Is that what it's called? I don't even know how I have my own ink spot. What am I doing? Looks a little bit like the Kyle Moonlight, the darker parts. Monteverde Pumpkin Cake is much more red. Browns. Here's Ancient Copper. No, Ancient Copper is actually a little bit warmer and lighter. I thought it was maybe a spot-on dupe. This is the first time I'm actually looking at it side by side. Here's the Ancient Copper. Let's do this while I'm not holding it. There goes the air conditioning. It is 80 degrees on November 1st. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so there's the Ancient Copper. I don't know, nothing can still hold a candle to that. Yeah, the ochre is definitely darker, a lot more brown in it. Okay, and in the Aurora Epsilon, I have Vinta Arnibal, or Burnt Sugar, which is a very deep dark color with some gold and green leafing in there, veining. Very pretty, very, very pretty. A little dark, a little darker than I wanted for this month, but I do love that. I do love that shimmer when you turn the page. All right, in my TWSBI 580 Diamond, I have Robert Oster Australis Oak. And this was just like an okay color for me. I think in this pen, and I've never had this with Robert Oster ink before. Most of the inks that I have from Robert Oster are medium to deep colored inks. This is a little bit paler. And for some reason, I feel like this is pretty dry. And I don't know if that's because darker inks get more of the, what's the agent in there that makes them flow better? I don't know. I don't know. This is me just speaking off the cuff. So this did drag a little bit, but it was okay. Has some really nice shading though. Okay, and Diplomat Traveler. That's this one, inked up with Dominant Industry Maple. Pretty red. This reminds me a lot of the Ferris Wheel Press Maple, which I no longer have a bottle of because I spilled about half, 3/4 of it in a really not a happy accident. I don't even know if that is, nope, it's not in my swatch book. I had it, it's somewhere back in my timeline, but I don't have it any longer. But it reminds me a lot of that. Has a little bit of orange tone right there. And then the last one that I had for the month was the Kaweco Sport in Diatramentis Heliogen Green Bronze. I'm obsessed with this color. Well, yes and no. I really liked it, but I did have a problem with it sticking once or twice with this pen. And once I flushed the nib out just to see if any particles were maybe stuck in there, which I've never had a problem. People talk about having problems with shimmer sticking all the time. I usually am using a broad nib, so I think that's probably why I don't have that many incidences of that happening. This is a broad nib, but it did stick in here. But once I just rinsed the nib tip, it was fine to go after that, and it's been working fine. But this is almost empty too. Why is this so hard to twist open? Oh, you don't need to see what's in it. Well, maybe you do, because it's pretty. I have lotion on my hands. Yeah, you can see some of that. There's a little bit left in there. And some shimmers. These were all samples that I bought or were given to me from Pen Friends. And yeah, now I'll just give you a tiny little writing sample so you can see it live and in person. This is a Usari notebook. This is a Japanese maker. They've been in business for, I think, like 100 years. They do like fancy high-end fountain pens. And I think this company is also the maker of Tachia inks. So I wanted to test out this paper. I like it. It's nice. It has some, you can see some great shading on the paper. And for some odd reason, I think I was doing a pen test in the back, and then I just kept going. So we'll just do a little writing right here so you can see. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching.